What's going on, guys? Reject Ross here. This is at about 12 p.m. talking about post Golden State OKC Game 7, unfortunately. I'm gonna give my thoughts on what OKC did wrong, what they did right, and how they could have won, or believe they should have won. Well, let's start off with the fact they were obviously up 3-1. And then game 5 was at Oracle. So a lot of people expected, maybe Thunder win that. But, it wasn't the end of the world if they lost that. 3-2, right? And then we're back at OKC at home. I think theirs is the Staples Arena. But what happened, obviously, surprised a lot. 3-1, having a 3-1 series lead is huge. As I'm on a team with 7 people again. I actually recorded a commentary before this talking about it, but it didn't work. It didn't record the whole thing. So what they did right, they started off explosive. They had the lead till like the third quarter, and then at which point they obviously went downhill. Now here's what started off wrong. I think in the beginning, Serge Ibaka. What they did right though is they eliminated Klay Thompson to 0-7. Right? That's what you want to do. You want to limit Golden State's 3 shooters, because, they have a wide, diverse shooters, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, mainly, and they eliminated Klay Thompson to 0-7, and Curry was still kind of quiet. He wasn't blowing up yet, so they were doing that good, but with Serge Ibaka missing like 3 open threes, that killed a lot of their momentum too, so you can't be missing those threes. So what I thought is they should have taken a timeout once OKC started not coming back. They went on an 11-2 run, and then they took the timeout, I believe. And you got to take the timeout and see, because Klay Thompson then had 3 threes in a row, right? And that's when you got to adjust your defense to, I don't know, more perimeter lockdown base, or more man-to-man coverage, basically. That's what we saw with the Cavs and the Raptors. So that just shows, like, when you leave. And then they had Steven Adams guarding Curry for a little bit. That wasn't the best idea, I don't think, but dang, I'm not an NBA coach. But still, it took Curry just one crossover to get open against Adams, so that shows how that does not work. And obviously it led to, like, a couple Curry threes, which gained them back their momentum, and the fans were getting loud, and yeah, what do you expect? So, sorry guys, kind of focused here. Steven Adams played good in the beginning, and then, whatever that other guy's name is, I'm trying to think, Hemingway or whatever. East something on the Thunder. He was basically replicating Adams. Adams wasn't dropping like any crazy figures throughout the series, but he was grabbing boards and he was disrupting offensively. That's what they needed, and they had that. But then they had a lot of second chance points, which is what I realized, and they got them right. But then Golden State was just doing Golden State threes, taking all the threes, making them, and it didn't adjust properly, obviously, so they kept getting threes. And then Curry, we actually saw drive a whole lot more this game. I think, honestly, he's the least diverse MVP in NBA history. He only shoots threes, and, congrats to him making the NBA record with 400 threes. But, when all you do is shoot threes, and a lot of them are open, it's just like, what are you gonna do? And I honestly think people overhype Curry. He's overrated, definitely. JR put up Curry shot 7 and 12 this game from 3, and I know for a fact JR did that one time in the series. I just can't remember what game off the top of my head. But, you don't see ESPN going crazy over it. So, things Warriors did right. They're obviously just making all these huge runs. They were down by as much as 13 at one point, and the Warriors were never really out of it till the end, and that was their problem. They can't close games too well, and they were just arguing with each other too much. Like, Kevin Durant was getting mad at his teammates, which is something you can't do. I know you're about to go into free agency, but still, if you're trying to win this championship, you can't be yelling at your teammates like that, you know? That's just uncalled for, and that's gonna make you lose games. Like, Denard Robinson, he passed that open three, like, wide open, right? To Serge Ibaka. And then I think scored a two later on in that play. But still, Kevin Durant was giving him crap over that. It's just like, you can't be too mad at him about that, you know. He hasn't been performing super well this year, Denard Robinson. I know he fouled out one game, but still, it was just too much arguing. And then I think the timeout calling was kind of like inappropriate. After Klay Thompson hit like 2 threes in a row, I think they should have called that timeout. Because Warriors are the kind of guys that go on 11-2 runs, you know? And they did a lot of those kind of runs. They went on a 7-0 run later on, which isn't a lot. But when you're playing down against the Warriors, and here's what the Warriors are good at. Like, the Warriors not the Warriors, OKC, right, would make the twos, they get the fouls. But then on defense, OKC wouldn't stop, what do you call it? They wouldn't stop the Warriors. They would keep scoring threes, and then clock would only be draining, going against them. And they didn't close out. I mean, after they lost the home game in Game 6, I honestly didn't want to admit it, but I saw the Warriors winning, so that's my honest opinion on what went wrong. Sorry I was a little over the place. I'm focused on the game. But, you know, there's not too much you can do. You gotta win those home games. Those are huge. And now that you have Kevin Durant going into free agency, honestly, there's no excuse for Kevin Durant. He's been, last 4 out of 6 years, OKC's been to the Western Conference Finals, right? And Kevin Durant, I'm gonna say, is the reason why they lost this series. Even though he's an amazing player, his last game, and I completely forgot the fact that Russell Westbrook shot 33% tonight. He went 7 from 21 from field goals. You can't be doing that. They went bad last game. Kevin Durant, the last 2 times, he went like last game he went like 10 for 31 or whatever. And then a lot of people were expecting him to have a bounce back game, because that's what he did. He went like whatever with the Spurs, what was it, like something terrible, like say 7 for 26. The next game he went off. I know he set a record for like the most attempts and like fewest makes in that game, but then he had a bounce back game. Russell Westbrook, he had the bad last 2 games, but you know, this is like the start of something amazing for him. He had, in every game, he was dropping a triple-double he dropped like 2 or 3 triple-doubles against the Warriors. And honestly, at one point, I thought he was going to drop a quadruple-double, but he didn't, you know, so, I honestly see KD leaving this year, unfortunately. The Russell Westbrook KD connection was such an amazing thing throughout this year. But you know, the West is hard, right? They played the Spurs, right? That's not an easy team to beat. They are such a great defensive team. I honestly think they're the best defensive team currently in the league. Because, let's be honest, defense is not what it's used to be. So, honestly, that's one of my thoughts on the OKC versus Golden State series. Guys, this has been Reject Ross, and have a great day. Make sure to like, comment, feedback, and subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.